Mets are hitting, have a slash line of 315, 371, and 532 in the month of September, and we were 6-7. So that was as of yesterday. I think we're now 7-7 this month, but still, slash line like that, dude, we should be not losing a lot of games. But it comes back to the pitching and lack of clutch hitting and base running errors. Just too many mistakes right now. Mets versus left-handed starters this year, 6-13. Mets versus right-handed starters this year, 15-13. So we definitely have the left-handed bats to give us a fighting chance against righties. And maybe this is a reason why we brought in Todd Frazier, is because it's another decent right-hand bat to face lefties. And he's done fairly well so far. So maybe that will change. And then my last note here, quick note, is Brandon Nimmo rates as the worst defensive center fielder in baseball. So mea culpa, okay? My apologies, sincerest apologies. I didn't think that he was that bad a center fielder. I thought that we could roll with him, given what he gives us at the plate and on the base paths. And I was wrong. So I don't know what to do with Brandon Nimmo other than push him to left, bring in a center fielder besides Marisnik, who is going to be a clutch hitter who has top 10 runners in scoring position, whoever that is, center fielder. And I think some people are throwing George Springer out there from the Astros. Okay, great. Whoever that center fielder is, he has to be good with runners in scoring position, and he has to be good defensively. Those two things. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. But damn, chasing Shreve with another strikeout. Yes. All right, so here are 4 player moves on Steve Cohen's to-do list when he becomes Mets owner. This comes to us via SNY. First move is to sign JT Realmuto, which, yeah, everyone's pushing for that. It's all over the place. Seems to be a consensus among Mets fans. He's had back-to-back All-Star seasons. He will be 30 years old, which gives me pause. And he's currently making $10 million in 2019. So people are saying that. I saw one person throw out a number that was like, oh yeah, give him 6 years, 85 million or something like that. 5 years, 85. Just a really high number for a catcher. And how many more years? I mean, Ramos is 33 going on 34, and I think he's pretty much in the bag. I think he's pretty much donezo. So signing a catcher for I guess the idea, the hope is, and this is where it gets a little cloudy, is he has played first. And there we do have the DH now. I think that's going to continue on. I don't think that's just a 2020 thing. So, but you already have, this is where we get back to that same old broken record discussion about you have too many DHs now. Dom Smith is a first baseman who you really run the risk of losing ball games when you put in left. And then the other option is DH. Robinson Cano is old as balls. So you don't want him really patrolling at second. So you put him at DH. If Alonso is struggling defensively, you have Smith at first, and you have so it's like there's only so many DHs you can have on the ball club. So, but what are your other options? A catcher. Sometimes you just have to overpay and then front load the contract, and then the last 3 years of the contract there's an easy out. I don't know. It seems like that might be the way to go. Second move is to sign Trevor Bauer. He will be 30, which unlike catchers, I'm not. That's 30 as a pitcher is like 26 as a catcher, I think. 40 is the new 20. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. Ooh, baby. Oh. So yeah, I'm for it. He does have a a very active social media presence. I mean, this is a dude who like chucked the ball over center field, which I thought was a great move because I have impulse control problems and I have emotional problems. So to see a professional ball player like actually act out on the field that way was a relief to me for some reason. But then you think about like, oh, do I want that on my ball club? And will that be a distraction? And, he's like in a fight with Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred in the commissioner's office over getting fined repeatedly for wearing, cleats that are not up to code or whatever. And then apparently like baseball players, pro baseball players are not allowed to do posts of themselves. Like they're not allowed to post videos and pictures of themselves in uniform, I guess, or they'll get fined, which is just, I can't wrap my head around it. So he'll be 30, which I don't mind the age thing. He leads the league in strikeouts and complete games and shutouts and ERA plus, which is ERA adjusted for the ballpark that he pitches in Cincy, which is at 1.7. So it's 1.71 is his ERA, but then you adjust for the ballpark he's playing in and it's even lower. So he's making $17.5 million this year. So I would imagine he's going to ask for more once he hits the market. So it becomes a matter of he's got the talent. He's not over the hill. He's probably got you would hope he's got another 5 years in him. So maybe you sign him for more than 5 years at 20 million a year, 25 million a year. We for sure probably have the money, right? Steve Cohen, open up the wallet, back up the brinks, and sign Trevor Bauer. The only downside is he going to be a distraction? He's now played in Cleveland and Cincinnati, like two smaller markets that don't have the kind of veracity when it comes to the media that New York does. Is he psychologically going to be able to handle that? He's a very intelligent dude. So I think that he will be able to, but it does just, it's a little hesitation there. Cause it's like, if we do sign him and then is he going to lose his shit in a press conference after every poor start? Number 3 is extend Michael Conforto. Yeah. I mean, it's a hashtag on Twitter, so it's got to happen, right? He's top 10 in batting average, OPS, most major offensive categories. If the Mets had a better record, I think he would be in the running for MVP. That's one of those things where if the Mets can somehow turn this around and go on a fucking run, make the playoffs, go somewhat deep in the playoffs, I think you could definitely consider Conforto as an MVP candidate. The number 4 is an interesting one. Sign Liam Hendriks. I've never heard of this dude in my life, but he was an all-star last season. He'll be 32 in 2021. He leads the league in games finished and saves with a 1.33 ERA in 20 games. I mean, I guess we just got to keep throwing as many relievers at this problem as possible until we get it right. But, it doesn't hurt to have, if it doesn't hurt going after a top-notch closer, reliever in the offseason, because it's just insurance. Edwin Diaz is insurance. So if he flips the script and goes back to 2018, Edwin Diaz, just icing on the cake, cherry on top. So I'm not opposed to going after a closer and paying bank for it. So those are the 4 moves. Short list. I don't hate any of those moves, really, considering that money is probably not really an issue anymore. I know that people have said, well, just because he's a Mets fan and just because he has more money than God, that doesn't mean that he's going to be willing to spend a lot of money on players. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, if I had $14 billion and the Mets were my favorite team and I'm the owner, I mean, it's going to be like Leo DiCaprio on, as the Wolf of Wall Street on his yacht, just throwing fucking making it rain on the feds. So that's the Mets. Okay.